Want to grow your aesthetics business and help your clients see better results? Pomp is the only retail solution that lets you recommend professional-grade skincare curated by our medical director without holding any inventory. You'll gain access to exclusive brands, tailored education, and easy tools to boost revenue well beyond your treatment room. With Pomp, you can deliver exceptional client results while earning commissions on every sale, day or night. Sign up today at pompbeauty.com and turn retail into your most reliable stream of growth. Are you interested in providing results-driven treatment services? Join a team of like-minded individuals who share your passion and support your success. With more than 1,000 franchised locations in 49 states, Massage Envy is not only the nation's #1 provider of massage services collectively across its franchise network, but also a national leader in skincare. Start or grow your career at a Massage Envy franchised location. Visit massageenvy.com/SDcareers for full details.
Hello and welcome to ASCP's Esty Talk. I'm your co-host, Maggie Staszcuk, ASCP's Program Director.
And I'm Ella Cressman. I bring the fun as a licensed esthetician and content contributor for ASCP.
Today, we're diving into a topic that's causing a stir in the skincare world, sunscreen safety. We're talking about two things: sunscreen doping, where some products aren't living up to their label, and the rise of foam sunscreens, which might not be providing the protection they promise. Even though we're entering fall, sunscreen is one of those products we recommend daily for every skin type, for every client. But if it's not performing the way it should, that's a huge red flag for us as professionals.
This is something I feel like comes up frequently. So interesting, the sunscreen, this specific formulation drama. I feel like it could be a reality show series or maybe a 2020 episode, right?
I agree with you. Yeah, it does come up year after year. I feel like we're talking about something, the FDA has flagged something, or consumers aren't understanding, or SPF values have an issue.
I think that's dumb anyways, if I'm being honest with you. So misleading. I mean, we could totally talk about this in a bunch of different ways, but even the SPF 30, 50, 70, what we're really being protected from is just, it's crazy. No wonder there's so much controversy and confusion around, right?
Yes, totally. So let's start with sunscreen doping. The term sounds dramatic, but what it means is that some manufacturers are boosting their SPF by adding unapproved chemical UV filters to sunscreen formulations marketed specifically as mineral-only formulas to boost SPF and UV protection.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal. That's wrong. It's like saying alcohol-free except for the 5% alcohol in this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
These unapproved filters aren't FDA approved for sun protection. They may only appear in the inactive ingredient section of the label. And to be clear, quote unquote, doping is the intentional use of these filters to boost SPF.
It's a tough one.
So some manufacturers, it's possible they have added these filters simply to improve solubility and film performance. At least that's the argument.
Is it intentionally deceptive, or is it really, like, let me give the example of salicylic acid. We know that salicylic acid in a certain formulation at a certain percentage has to be listed as drug facts. We also know that it can have an antibacterial, antimicrobial in a formulation, but it's at such a low percentage that it doesn't need to be listed as an active. That's okay. But with this, I feel like they need to explain themselves a little bit more. Why would they choose some of those chemical agents? Or interesting.
Yeah, that is the problem. That's the controversy here. They are being questioned about the use of those ingredients. So, again, why do this? In a mineral formula, this practice increases SPF value without having a high percentage of zinc or titanium dioxide. So it's keeping the formula more transparent. And we know consumers often complain about a mineral product being very opaque or too white or chalky. So brands have found one way to make their products translucent, and that could be by adding these particular ingredients. In a chemical formula, this practice simply is increasing SPF value on the label and improves efficacy. So it could be a way to further bypass the FDA approval process and increase the rating on their product.
And when they not just approve it, but get it tested.
Right.
So they're testing to see what is the rating, and it could be, that's interesting.
So this matters for a lot of reasons. One of them is safety. One of the biggest problems is that these doping ingredients have not gone through the same rigorous FDA testing as other UV filters. So it's misleading to the consumer. It's a testing loophole, basically, to make products look more protective than they actually are.
It's also interesting when you look at the active ingredients, like, oh, this is only 10% zinc and titanium, but it's an SPF 40. But it feels so nice on. Really, that percentage, I'm just throwing numbers out there. This isn't a real, ratio, but that percentage might really only be an SPF 20, and then the other 20 is by these chemicals, but they're not listed. So you're thinking you're wearing a mineral SPF, but you're not. And maybe you're having your client or somebody might be having a response to those chemicals, or maybe just, ethically, that's not what they want to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's consumer deception. People are buying a quote unquote mineral only sunscreen. It could be for sensitivities, it could be for environmental reasons, and they may unknowingly be using actually a hybrid formula.
Would you be upset?
I have thought about this since this became newsworthy, and I'm not as upset as I thought I would be. I do use both chemical and mineral products, but I prefer to put mineral only on my face. So to know that, oh shoot, actually I'm putting chemicals on my face too, I do feel deceived. I mean, I like what I like. There are brands and formulas that I gravitate towards. And if I knew up front, I would probably still continue to use that product because I like it.
Yeah.
And I've chosen to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like knowing that I've been deceived.
Same.
Yeah.
It's a principal question there.
It is, yeah. There's also a foam format problem. Have you seen all of these foams on the market lately? They're a really big deal.
They're a huge deal, and I kind of like them. I tried them one time. I liked them. I liked them for a lot of reasons. But yeah, most recently I was in Minnesota, and they had them in like the travel section. I was like, oh, that's so cute. I would pick that, which was probably going to provide way less like area coverage based on the formula over like a cream or a spray.
Yeah, yeah. So they look fun. They're super marketable. They're light, airy, easy to apply, apparently. But testing shows they may not be delivering consistent, adequate coverage.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's become a problem for the FDA. So they recently issued warning letters. This was dated specifically August 6th of 2025. And it was to brands like Supergoop and Vacation Inc. Also, to be clear, this went out to a lot of brands that we may have never heard of. It could be brands from overseas. It could be weird off-label brands. But they're also jumping on the bandwagon for foam sunscreen formats. So this letter went out, and it's over foam or mousse formatted sunscreens, which currently do not fall within the agency's list of approved dosage forms. Those approved forms are going to be things like lotion, cream, gel, spray, stick.
Oh, I see what's going on here. Okay.
So they have emphasized that unless a new drug application is approved, these foam formats are misbranded, making them illegal to market in the U.S.
Okay, so they're just mad that they didn't get approved first. Oh, that doesn't mean it doesn't work. They're just mad.
They're just mad.
Oh,
yeah, they're just
FDA,
mad.
girl.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So additional concerns were also raised about packaging, like whipped cream style canisters. Have you seen these out and about?
Yeah, I almost bought one.
Yes.
Because of that. Yeah.
Yes, they're very cute. And the issue is that they potentially could be mistaken for food, posing a risk of accidental ingestion, especially by children.
Oh my. Okay.
I mean, and they do look like whipped cream. I could see that happening. But the experts agree there's no definitive evidence these formats are unsafe or ineffective.
Yes, like, can we say that again? There's no definitive evidence. They're just mad that that they didn't think of it.
Yeah. So the issues are that foam consistency makes measuring proper dose difficult. SPF relies on a precise weight per area application, and this airy foam texture may obscure whether enough product is being applied.
I don't know. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you do like the 2 fingers of SPF?
No.
I don't either. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And especially where we're talking about a full mineral. Do some people need it? Sure. But like that recommendation is such a broad recommendation or broad dosage that I don't think it's always appropriate. But this is just my opinion. I don't know anybody who puts 2 fingers of SPF on. I know that's what we're taught, but I don't do it. I don't do it in the treatment room. I don't do it on myself, and I don't get a sunburn. Now, my body, the landscape is different than your body. So are they talking about per area? My area is different than yours. My square footage is different than your square footage, but my skin is different too. How do they measure that with the sprays?
You're right. Let's share first exactly the dosing that you're referring to.
Okay.
To ensure sunscreen delivers the SPF protection indicated on the label, there are a couple of dosing options for SPF. One, the FDA standard tests sunscreen at 2 milligrams per square centimeter. So what that amounts to is about 1 ounce or 1 shot glass for the entire exposed body. That's a 1/4 teaspoon for the face and the front of the neck, or up to 1/2 teaspoon if including the ears and the décolleté. So that's a lot of sunscreen. Other usable measurements are like what you're saying, the 2-finger rule, which is squeezing cream along the index and middle fingers. That equates to enough for the face, neck, and ears. And fingertip units are useful for estimating coverage per body zone. And I don't know what they are estimating as a body zone, but if they're saying décolleté and up to the face is a body zone, I imagine arms are a body zone, legs are a body zone. But nobody's measuring like that.
No, you're putting it on. Is it covered evenly? Are you reapplying? There's so many rules around sunscreen, and there's so many variables that I think it's easy for them to measure a shot glass full. But is that a shot glass of the spray also? Because I would argue I don't think so.
No. I can't imagine. That would be a lot of spray.
Right. Yeah. So if it's, let's just say, it says 1 ounce, 1 shot glass for the entire exposed body. Not in cream for me. It still wouldn't get my back. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I do.
Interesting.
I can see the argument, though, that this is not the case for foam. Foam is whipped. It's airy. There's gas bubbles in it, and so it's not a condensed product where you could measure 1 ounce and say that's enough to cover my body area.
Yeah, I think that again would be like, does it feel covered? That's where you have to go for, same as you do with the sprays. Did I get everything? And of course, sometimes with the spray or the cream, I find most of the time people have a sunburn, it's because they've misapplied. And it's usually because they've misapplied with a cream.
Yeah.
Because they can't get to certain areas.
Yeah.
But it's not because they didn't have a full ounce on.
Yeah. The other thing that's interesting that is never addressed is how a chemical product actually breaks down in the sun versus a mineral. So your sunscreen chemical ingredients start to break down when exposed to the sun in about 2 hours. Hence where this apply every 2-hour rule comes from.
Okay.
And we say you swim it off, you sweat it off, you rub it off. But we started with your chemical products.
Yeah.
Minerals became a big thing. Minerals don't break down in the sun.
Oh, so apply once. So what's in the foam? Is it chemical? I don't even look. I was like, it's so cute. I want to use it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's got to be chemical. Maybe a little bit of physical.
I can't imagine they're whipping up zinc. I don't know. It is interesting.
I'd still use it. After all of this, I would still use the foam. I think that it's going to be easier to put on. Here's my take, right? I feel the foam would be a mix between the cream and the spray in that it's airy. It's going to absorb quick. I don't have to wait for it. I can get to my sun, funning in the sun quicker. And I would be able to see right where I'm putting it like a cream. I think I would still use the foam.
Yeah, if you can access it, because now they're saying it's illegal.
And if they weren't doping me into thinking that it was one thing and it's another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't even read the label. I'm just kidding. I would.
I feel like I just had this weird memory. I feel like foam sunscreen was a thing when we were kids, and it was like hot pink or hot blue.
Oh, yeah, and it like changed colors. I'm having a similar memory. Was that
Yeah.
lotion?
It was like a foam. You squirted it out, and it was all these bright colors.
Nice. That would be fun for kids to use.
Yeah, maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. Anyways, listeners, we want to hear from you. What's your take on sunscreen doping and foam formats? Share with us on social media through Instagram, Facebook, or by emailing getconnected@ascpskincare.com. Thank you for listening to ASCP Esty Talk, and as always, for more information on this episode or for ways to connect with Ella and myself, or to learn more about ASCP, check out the show notes.